Hey, good morning, San Diego. Welcome to another podcast with me. I appreciate you. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but today I have the pleasure of having some really amazing people here, so we'll get to know them in a little bit. But in short order, I have to my right Mr. Reagan Nickelson with Real Broker. We'll hear more about him. And I have Mauricio Perez. Some of you may know him as Mo. I think he's the tallest guy in the room, right? With 24/7 Realty. And I have Jason Lopez, who's actually a longtime friend. We've known each other for a while, with Real Broker. And then Claudia Zaker, also with 24/7 Realty. Now, it's another amazing sunny day in San Diego, right? Yeah. So, Reagan, you drove down from where?
Orange County, Dana Point.
All right, welcome to San Diego.
Thank you.
All right,
always
property
love coming
prices
down.
are lower here, by the way.
Yeah,
Right?
not much, but yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to start with Mo.
Oh, why me? Why
Mo,
me?
Because you're the tallest guy.
Yeah, one cool thing about you that people may or may not know.
Usually you start from shortest to tallest. My whole life.
We're mixing it up today.
Not when you're on my podcast. Everything is flip-sided. So.
Fun fact about me?
Yeah.
I'm 6'8".
Okay, we know that
Mexican,
already.
so that's
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Okay, let me help
That's a fun
you.
fact.
How about something to do with stage?
Come on, man. Why are you doing this to me? I play in a band. I've been playing in a rock band for the last 22 years. I started real estate and a punk rock band at the same time, and I've been doing both ever since.
And the name of the band?
The band's called Deluxe.
Look it up, you guys. Check it out.
Don't look it up.
All right, how about you, Reagan?
Okay, fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay, fun fact. I grew up in the home fragrance business, and I know how to make candles.
Wow.
And potpourri, actually, back in the 80s. I know potpourri's not really in style anymore, but...
That answers so many different questions.
Right? I mean, it doesn't it though, right?
So much more.
So, and because of that, I don't actually love candles to this day because,
You were
just being
traumatized,
around them
yeah.
so much. But anyway, so traveled the country doing wholesale trade shows. So, just kind of the fun things as a kid.
Awesome.
What does those conference rooms smell like in the home fragrance business? If you're walking into the...
Oh, you mean like in our facility or our offices?
No, when you go to like a trade show and everybody brings smelly stuff.
Oh, it smells like a collection of about 100 different fragrances all tossed into one, and that's the part I can't take anymore.
That's why you hate it now.
So like I won't wear cologne, But anyway, it was an interesting time.
Is there a Reagan scent?
We all have sense, Claudia.
Maybe at the time. I think right now my Reagan scent would probably be in the Tom Ford cologne collection, maybe tobacco leather. That's what I would say.
Leather.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Tobacco
Okay.
leather is the Reagan scent.
All
Desk.
right. Jason, how about you?
Oh, one fun fact about Jason. There's so many fun facts about Jason. Probably, I think a lot of people know this if they follow me on social media at all, is I am an avid vinyl record collector. So Mo started a punk rock band. I started collecting punk rock records. So come by sometime or check out my Live from the Basement series on Facebook sometimes where I'm spinning records and getting blocked on Facebook.
I love it. Claudia, how about you?
Gosh, fun fact. I would say what most people are usually surprised to hear is my law enforcement background. And I was a law enforcement officer back in the day. And that I was big into martial arts growing up. So from taekwondo, judo in college. So that's something that.
So don't mess with Claudia. That's my takeaway here. Okay.
So maybe you need backup and show the house.
And I've heard,
right.
yeah, and I've heard that your hashtag is boss lady. Is that correct?
That's a fun thing, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Boss, don't mess
If
with
it
the
isn't, it
boss
should
lady.
be. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
I just want to know if she still has the handcuffs, Max.
All right, we won't get into
kinds
that. Yeah, this is a family show. So, all right, very cool. I appreciate you guys talking about it. Now, you're all in the real estate business in a variety of ways. So today's focus is really on business. What's going on in our business landscape? There's a lot of changes going on from at the federal level, the local level, actually globally, right? But today we're going to focus on real estate, which is something that everyone should know about. So we're all bombarded with what's going on in the news. Is it a bad time? Is it a good time? Are we in a recession? Is it crashing? I hear all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to misinterpret it. So I'm going to ask each of you to give me your 30-second perspective of where you think the real estate market is in a very general sense. And then we'll get into what you do specifically day in, day out. So let me start with you, Claudia. What's your perspective on the state of the real estate?
Well, we're definitely seeing a shift. Nothing we haven't seen before, right? For those who've been in the business, and I've been in the business for 18, going on 19 years now, we've seen that ups and downs, whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, high interest rates, low interest rates. So we are seeing a shift, and every time there's a shift, there's an adjustment that needs to be made, both on the mortgage lending side and then also on the real estate side. So that's the current state, as we're seeing that shift to where before you were heavy seller's market, hard to get offers accepted. Now you want to have the buyers, right? Is the qualified buyers, because now the buyers are having their offers accepted and a lot of more negotiation flexibility there.
So would it be a true statement to say that buyers have more opportunities now? Is that
Well,
Definitely.
I mean, I think it's all perspective, right? Because the way I explain it to people is we're still in a seller's market. Imagine you're going on the freeway on a Ferrari 200 miles an hour and you slow down to 160. Are you really going to notice that slowdown, even though you went down, 20%, call it, velocity? We're still, let's not get it twisted. We're still, our inventory is what, a month, maybe just over a month. The only difference is we've been spoiled for so long that we lost touch of what reality is. And now we're seeing a bit of a slowdown, and everybody's like, oh, buyer's market. No, it's not a buyer's market, okay? The only difference is we've been in a seller's market that had like a little bonus for buyers. Oh, by the way, low interest rates. They were still paying high prices, high in I shouldn't say high. It was still a seller's market, so the sellers had the leverage, but the buyers didn't care because their monthly payment was so low. So now what happens when that payment goes up, $500, $600? Well, the pool of buyers, you're no longer competing against 15 buyers. You're competing against, 8, call it. And I think it's especially hitting the first-time home buyers, because a lot of the first-time home buyers have high debt-to-income ratios, and even a 1% change in interest rates, prices them out. So it's still heavily a seller's market, but you can no longer expect, no contingencies, give me whatever price I'll pull out of my back pocket today. So I think it's always a good time to buy real estate, but it's definitely, I think buyers have a little bit more, opportunities and allowances than they did in the last couple of years.
so? Jason, from your perspective, what's causing all this kind of an uproar in the real estate market, whether it's seller's market, buyer's market? What causes this? What's the driver behind it?
It's kind of funny, and I think back years, probably 5-6 years ago, talking about the 4 cycles that we go through in real estate, right? We were at or near the top of the market for years longer than normal, and there's no definitive time frame in terms of how long a particular cycle lasts, but it lasted years longer when we look back, historically about that type of thing. But eventually you hit the downturn, which is, as Claudia mentioned, that's kind of where we are now. I think there's lots of opportunity in the market. So we've just moved into that next cycle. And as Mo said, and you see a lot of stuff on social, agents that maybe haven't been through this before, saying we're in a buyer's market. No, we've just moved from a strong seller's market to a strong seller's market. I had one of my agents in Fresno that does a lot of video. I think he painted a perfect picture where he said, prices are coming down. We're seeing price reductions, but values are still going up. Yeah. Meaning, I bought a house a month ago for $400,000. Mo buys the same exact house and closed yesterday for $350,000. Price came down, but they're both going to be worth more a year from now, right? Nice. So the values are still going up, although slower than we've seen over the last few years. So, I would be very cautious about saying we're into a buyer's market. But that's usually based on inventory, right? And as I track the inventory, and I do this on a almost daily basis, we have more inventory. There's more homes actively for sale right now than there's been, prior months. But when you look at say July of this year compared to July of last year, there's actually fewer homes on the market, and there are fewer new listings coming on the market as well. So the inventory growth has been more about longer market times than it is about actually more homes coming on the market, right? We've seen, as Mo mentioned, our months of inventory has gone from just under a month to maybe 1.2, 1.3 months here in San Diego. So that's just going to give us more total active inventory. That doesn't necessarily mean more new homes. It's just the inventory is getting a little stagnant. But still in San Diego County, the average market time is still like 10, 11 days, right? Yeah. So don't freak out if you've got a home that's been sitting on the market for 2 weeks and you don't have any offers. You got to price it right out of the gate. You don't want to chase the market downhill. That's critical. And I think with a lot of people who've gotten in the business, let's say in the last 3 to 4 years, they don't understand that. They're still telling sellers what they want to hear. And you got to be brutally honest with them at this point, especially if their timeline dictates like, hey, I got to be in Phoenix in 30 days for a job change. Then I need a 30-day price. I need a 20-day price, right? So you got to be careful about that.
It's going back to what I call old school, where you price, condition, location. You've got to price it right. The condition has to look good. You can't just go forward and say, oh, we're not doing anything. You got to put your best foot forward. It's kind of going back to the basics, and
you can do something about price and condition. You can't do anything about location.
Bingo.
Except make sure the price and the condition are good.
Yes.
So let me switch gear on you, because everybody's talking about interest rate. Help me reconcile this. In the late 80s, I bought my first home in San Diego, in Rancho Penasquitos, for those of you that are listening and if you know San Diego. And it was a small townhouse, and I got a mortgage, and the interest rate was, you ready for this? 11.68%. I never forget this. At that time, for me, oh my God, I actually achieved the American dream. I own my own home. Didn't think anything of it. 2 years ago, I bought my new home at 2.9% interest rate. Today's interest rate, I understand, is around 5.8. How do you reconcile that? For somebody who's listening in, who's a first-time home buyer, and they hear all this noise, the sky is falling out. Can you put in some context for me, or those of us that are listening in?
We all have opinions on this, but here's what I would say about it. The interest rate on rent is 100%.
Yeah.
That's a lot higher than 5.8, right? Marry the house, date the rate. Yeah. That's what I say.
And I think it's about educating your buyers that they may need to adjust their price point. Where when there was a lower interest rate, they could qualify for more. So it just has to take that adjustment. And to Jason's point, you can always flip out of that or get creative with the financing.
And I think we've gotten into the mindset of, we need a 30-year fixed mortgage. It's
yes.
We don't. Yeah. Okay, so we need to. We've been the pendulum went so far one way that now it's starting to come another, and people are still, no, I need a 30-year fixed rate. How long do people stay in their homes? 7 years average, probably.
Yep.
They probably refinanced before then. So the rate, unless you know for a fact, hey, this is my forever home, then okay, get a 30-year fixed mortgage. Otherwise, you're paying a premium for that security, like an insurance that you're really never going to use. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you rent, that's 100% interest, no deduction.
And no future wealth build up in terms of equity.
I like how Jason put it. You can marry the home and date the rate.
Yes.
I think you have options. As the options change, you can always change the rate. You can always date another rate whenever that comes around. But as you see, if you look at the trends in the last 30, 40 years, what do you see? You see the straight line. As far as values, it's always an incline. It's always the increase in the value has always gone up. The rates will change, fluctuate back and forth. So it's getting into home ownership, even if it's at the rate of 5%, 6%, 7%, 11%, because you can always change that later on. But you're building wealth.
It sounds like if you are in a position to obtain financing and you qualify for it and you can afford a mortgage, this is as good of a time as any other time to purchase a home.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the interest. Because I think we all get so fixated on the cost of borrowing that we really lose sight of the real value of home ownership.
Right. And the opportunity for buyers that Mo was talking about is in that situation where less competition, right? Even though the rates have gone up, the demand has come down, so it's a little easier for buyers to get in. And we're seeing the sellers making some concessions. It's not just about making a price reduction. It's about paying for closing costs, offering to pay maybe for a buy down in the interest rate. So for the first year or two, the buyer gets a lower rate and the seller can pay for that. If it's an HOA property, maybe it's covering 6 months or a year of the HOA fees for the buyer so that they're not coming out of pocket every month for that additional expense. So these are things that we've done over the years that we haven't done in the last 10 years, let's say. And this is where an experienced agent is really going to come in handy for you to help you understand what the options are outside of simply asking for a low price.
And again, as an agent, you have to make sure you have a strategy of pricing properties correctly, because I remember it, the first week of April, everything just kind of pumped the brakes. Like the 200 miles an hour, we pumped the brakes down to 150, right? So, but we're still, how do you price homes? You look at the comps, right? Whether it's a month ago, 2 months ago. So in April, things just shifted. And if you priced the home if you put it on the market in April, it was sitting, 2-3 weeks. So this is an example. I priced the home around that time at $535 because that was competitive pricing based on the last couple months. Well, guess what? We had like 2 showings. It sat for about 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, we need to do a price reduction quick. Lower the price to $519. We went into escrow of the same price, $535.
So there's a strategy behind this. So the best thing, I guess, the best advice we can give to our listeners is hire a realtor. Hire someone that they know what they're doing, and they have the experience so that they can consult with you. Well, thank you guys for breaking this down for me, because we're all bombarded with so much information, but how you break the information down, I think that's where the answer is. So thank you for that. Now I want to get into what you guys do day in, day out. You've all been in the real estate business for a long time. So let me start with Reagan. Reagan, you're with Real Broker. So what is Real Broker?
So Real Broker is a new way of looking at real estate. And I like to think of it as a collective of agents that want to make a change in the industry. And it circles around culture and values and wanting that to feel different than what we've had in the past, heavily relying on technology, our mobile technology for the agents, and what it's all about freedom and flexibility for the agent's experience, and then their experience that they give their clients is better. So it's a win-win in the circle of life, as far as the agent, the brokerage, the agent, and the clients, the buyers and sellers. So for me, I think of it as a collective of, like-minded agents that want to help each other, that want to collaborate, that want to grow and be better at what they do. Fantastic. In Realtors.
Now, Jason, you're also with Real Broker. Can you share with us? I've actually looked up the company, so I understand the company is a publicly traded company. Tell us a little bit about that, and then also that there's a revenue share. So can you briefly talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are just over a year ago. We uplisted from the Toronto Stock Exchange venture market to the NASDAQ market. So we're a publicly traded company on NASDAQ. And that was kind of cool. We got to go and ring the bell in New York and celebrate that. And we've been seeing a lot of stuff on social. It's been a year since that happened. So that's pretty cool. And to kind of piggyback on what Reagan said, every company has technology, right? And it's interesting. Our founder and CEO, Tamir Poleg, comes from a tech background. And I remember at an event several years ago, he was talking about technology and how he references as, it's a set of tools to solve specific problems, right? We get caught up in the wizardry of technology, but at its base level, we've got a problem. How do we solve it and be able to do that over and over and over without a lot of additional manpower, right? And so along with all the things Reagan was talking about, I think what we've done differently with the tech side is provide an opportunity for agents to have insights into their business. Look, because even if you're a solo agent or you're running a team, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you need to know certain things about your business. And while every company and every agent has a mobile app, for example, we built our app more for the agents to have insight into some of that data on the back end. We have the front end where you can share your app with your clients and they can search properties and stay in contact. But with our app, it gives agents insights into their transaction, their sales volume, their revenue share, who's on their downline, when is that next payment coming, how much is that payment going to be, how much equity do they have in the company if they're buying stock through our agent stock purchase program. Where are they in relationship to their cap? So once an agent pays a certain amount of money to the company, they keep 100%. It's good to know where you are so that you can start anticipating when you're going to be making more money when you close deals.
So I'm sure I keep hearing revenue share. So are you saying that the company actually gives some portion to someone? What does that mean?
So I think it's one of the keys to our growth. And we just had a great little milestone this week where we've reached 6,000 agents in the United States and Canada now. But what's interesting about that growth is in October of last year, we were at 4,000 agents. In June of this year, we were at 5,000 agents. We've added another 1,000 agents basically in the last 60, 70 days. So we're at that point now where we're really going to see exponential growth. Revenue share is a big reason why. But as Reagan mentioned, it's also a key component of the culture, right? The idea is, how can we grow organically so that we are in business with like-minded people who see the value in what we offer, and we can partner with them so that we can all grow together. No agent left behind, as some of our people like to say. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity, and it's a cultural piece, but it's a reward for agents who help grow the company. So, we refer somebody in, they join the company, we can earn up to $4,000 per agent. If that agent is a capping agent, it would mean $4,000. So every time they close a deal, we get 5% of the company revenue. It doesn't come out of the agent part of it. It comes out of the company part of it. So it doesn't affect the agent commissions in any way, shape, or form. You can have as many people on each of your levels. There's 5 levels of revenue share. But for everyone you directly refer in, you'll earn 5% up to their cap. So, and I know Reagan can talk about this too. We actually have 8 ways to earn income at Real.
Wow.
So think about now in this shift, where maybe some agents are seeing their business dry up a little bit. It's a little harder to come by business. If they had other revenue streams, other income streams, ways they can make money outside of helping people buy, sell, or invest in real estate, it could be an important part of not just sustaining their financials on a monthly basis, but actually growing wealth in their lives as well.
Well, this sounds fascinating, but of course, in the interest of time, what we'll do is we'll put up a phone number on the screen for folks that are interested to learn more about it, so you can always call one of these fine people and find out more. Now, let me go to Mo and Claudia. The two of you are co-owners of a brokerage, what we call a brick-and-mortar brokerage, 24/7 Realty. Tell us a little bit about your business and how it all came about.
Yes, well, I guess it all stemmed back. I've been in the business for going on 19 years and started first as an agent, as we all do, and then grew a team, then expanded to another state, and then acquired a franchise, and then went independent. So we've gone through a journey, and our agents were about 120 agents, and actually more than that, within our 24/7 Realty family. We have 2 offices, one in the South, one in North San Diego, and we have a great culture, great family. We've introduced different lead platforms for our agents with our partnerships, and we're a growing family. Mo, what would you like to add?
Yeah, so where should I start? It's been quite the journey. A lot of good changes. A lot of times people fear change, but when you're adding opportunity, when change is adding opportunity without subtracting anything, because we've been the same leadership group. We've managed to keep the same agents throughout our transitions, which is amazing, and just a testament to the leadership and the connections that we have with our agents. I was the broker of record when we had our franchise for about 8 years. Then we went independent. Now I'm the compliance director. I also run a team of 7 agents, and it's really just all about being there for our agents. As a compliance director and when I was a broker, a text message, a call, whatever it takes. And I know Claudia did the same. If I'm not available, or our other seasoned agents, it's that culture of helping, right? So then we added a lot of lead programs to that when we made the change to 24/7 Realty, and now we're also we've partnered up with the real brokers here to introduce the revenue share to our agents, because we know that, hey, as realtors, you don't have a 401k plan. You're lucky if you're saving, if you're putting anything towards retirement. So it's important for those of us who've been in the business a while and have had the opportunity to contribute to an IRA or a 401k or whatever, that we get our agents in the habit of doing this. And what better way than getting into the ground level with a young company, a tech company, a startup that can, in 5-10 years be that, your retirement for you.
And that was, sorry, if I could add to that as well, Tomo, that was always our desire, is to how do we create different wealth revenues for platforms for our agents? How do we create that passive agent, especially now in the changing market where some of our agents are either struggling or having to adjust to the market. It was the perfect timing on how, and it was all kind of all meant to be, because we started this talk several months ago, I would say probably 6 months ago, right, Mo, when we were seeing how can we introduce a way to give back to our agents a portion of the revenue of what the company generates or commissions, and then for the agents who help us grow, and how do we introduce the lead platform. So we're always kind of thinking, how do we improve the lives of our agents? Because being an independent contractor as a solo agent, it's tough. It can be lonely. You're everything, right? You're the marketer, you're the secretary, you're the one putting out signs, you're everything when you're an independent contractor. So having these sources, and because Mo and I are actively in real estate, we haven't we're buying and selling property. We're helping clients now in the field versus, the last time we did a deal was 10 years ago or so. We're actually there. So we understand what our agents go through. We understand, what services, what do they need. So the big thing is passive income. How can we align ourselves with a system or something? And that's when we came across Real. And that's exactly what Real does, is provide that passive income opportunity to our agents.
So it sounds like there's been a marriage here between all of you. So moving forward, what does that mean for those agents that are going to join your network? Sounds like there's revenue sharing opportunities. Absolutely. I hear technologies, and so is Real how many states? I mean, if somebody's watching and they're in Idaho, can they be a part of the network?
Can we? Are we in Idaho? Because we're in 44 states. So we're lacking.
Well, I just picked a state. So
yeah, but that made me think. I may not know the states that we're not. We are okay.
Oh, okay.
We're in 44 states officially today, as of this recording. We're likely going to have the other 7 opened in the next, I would say, few months by the end of the year.
Right,
I think that's
3 Canadian provinces.
Yes, so and in Canada as well. So before long, I would say by the end of the year of 2022, we will have all the states opened. So it's the opportunity to work nationally and to collaborate with agents within the network all over the country, which is just amazing.
Yeah, one of the really cool things about our platform also is, unlike there are other companies that offer revenue share or profit sharing and things like that. The challenge though is, if I'm in, you mentioned, Claudia, you guys also operated in another state, and I know it's Minnesota. With your prior franchise, if that involved, you would have, your fees and cap associated with your home office, and then another set of fees and another cap with that expansion market that you went into. With Real, you can go to as many markets and states as you want, and you just pay one cap. There's no additional revenue coming back to the company other than what you normally would pay. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can grow.
Claudia, let me ask you, if somebody wants to find out, obviously there's a lot more to uncover that we have time for, but if folks that are watching in or listening in, for that matter, how can they contact you to find out more about it? Is there a phone number or an email address?
Yes, well, absolutely. You can find us either Instagram, Facebook, where you can find us as 24/7 Realty South. And then also we're just about to launch our website, and that'll be 247realtysouth.com. And then also we'll put our phone number and how to
So
contact us.
tell me what the
on
phone number is, and then we'll put it on the screen as well.
Yes, so our main number is 619-779-7200, 779-7200.
Awesome. We are just about out of time, guys. I really appreciate you being here. This is big news.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go get my real estate license.
Changing lives.
Yeah,
Wealth
absolutely.
building.
So before we wrap up, any other final words, anything that you want to share before we wrap up?
I am extraordinarily excited for our partnership and what the future looks like with 24/7 South and Real. So this has just been amazing, and the future is so bright. We're excited.
As are we.
Same here. Everybody's been so cool, great people.
Well, thank you all for joining me today. This was a great discussion. Maybe we'll have you back another day, and then we can break it
Great.
down more. And for those of you listening, thank you for tuning in. Have a phenomenal day, and until next time.